hammers. Probably one of the weapons most synonymous with Roblox itself. Let's face it, we all love hammers in our games. There's just so many out there. And what hammer is more popular than the Banhammer? Wait, where am I going with this? What? Okay, I don't know. Okay, you know what? Screw trying to make this deep. You saw the title. You know why you're here. We're not doing that. That's stupid. No. Banhammer, the judgment-seeking demigod who loves a challenge, versus Sledge Queen, the chipper warrior ruler from another planet. Both of these heavy hitters hail from some of my favorite games on the Roblox platform. But which one is stronger? Who would win in a fight? Well, be sure to hit that like button to subscribe, and without further ado, let's find out. But before we dive into these two, allow me to quickly restate the rules of this series, for those who haven't watched the previous video, which you should, by the way. In this video, we are mainly looking at their lore as well as their in-game achievements and abilities. Stuff like stats, health, etc. are being completely ignored for this video. We're also going to ignore the fact that Banhammer, despite being a demigod, can be murdered by an idiot femboy with a slingshot. Same applies to Sledge Queen, who can be stunlock parried to death by a white shirt or blown up by spiders. We're not taking them at their lowest. No, we're talking about everything as long as it's concerned to the lore and stuff. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alia, better known as Sledge Queen, is a world boss that appears in Decaying Winter. She is the leader of the Raiders, a group of former soldiers, police, and other rough and tough people who banded together during the collapse of their planet. Okay, this is starting to get a bit confusing. Allow me to start from the beginning. Basically, after a lot of old Earth, new Earth stuff, and just a lot of stuff that really doesn't matter, humanity just started moving to other planets. One of these planets was a place called Eden 227. Eden was alright, and all things were overseen by the Agency, essentially an interplanetary military. One day, however, Eden's star violently exploded, plunging the planet into an eternal winter. One of the people on the planet at the time was a firefighter named Alia. Alia was a huge fan of the survival of the fittest games, even getting a custom hammerhead from her idol, which would become her signature weapon. Sledge Queen managed to unite this first survivor group who followed her because, well, look at her, bro. She's a bad. I mean, they liked her because she ruled over them with kindness and genuine compassion. Despite her charming, quirky, and lovable exterior, make no mistake, this woman is an absolute beast. Without any extra equipment, she was able to kill an Arbiter agent. And I want you to keep in mind that agents are people trained to be sent to other planets to deal with incursions and other things, specifically trained to do these jobs. Regardless, Sledge Queen managed to kill one, and retrofit his equipment for herself. It was likely this feat that earned her so much respect amongst the scavengers of Eden, and why she is marked as a high-value target by the other agents. Sledge Queen's signature weapon include her lightweight sledgehammer, which, while being lightweight, still packs enough force to break people's skulls or send them flying. Her other signature weapon is her knuckle boom arm attachment. The knuckle boom is a surgically mounted gauntlet that allows her to fire rocket-powered, high-explosive shotgun shells. She's able to fire them at both close range and long range. Not only that, she's also able to use the knuckle boom augmentation to practically super jump and fly. Her reaction time is fast, like really, really fast. She's able to parry, even being able to parry bullets by spinning her hammer. When she launches herself at you, she'll shoot the knuckle boom once to launch herself upwards, and then she'll do it again to fire herself in your direction, usually repositioning multiple times in the air. And make no mistake, she can get you from any distance, making her incredibly campy, almost superhuman levels of fast. Her stolen agent tech allows her to do even more things, such as not needing to worry about breaking her legs, as well as being able to see through invisibility. Even without her knuckle boom, Sledge Queen seems to be in possession of a Model 870 shotgun, as well as a handful of grenades, which has allowed her to survive in this dangerous world. She can take on demons, cultists, and demon cultists. In fact, during the cultist takeover, she, alongside the rest of the surviving Demise of Eden crew, took out a large portion of the Recon cult in the middle of a deadly storm, before escaping the horrors of Eden. She survived an attack from the Recon, even developing an immunity to the infection. Heck, in the dubiously canon scenario where she was infected, she's implied to have still held on to some of her humanity, being strong enough to punch someone's head and neck clean off their spinal cord. Keep in mind, the Recon are like demon zombies, but mainly just zombies, so they're kind of weak, so the fact that she was able to do that is absolutely crazy. All in all, Sledge Queen is a victim of some of the worst circumstances known to man, and despite all that, she has been able to adapt. She became a leader and a legend until she finally became what she is today, a borderline superhuman demon slayer who is not to be estimated. Banhammer is one of the many characters that appears in the game Fighting. Unlike the many other characters in the game, he is not part of any singular faction, but is instead the warden and enforcer of the Banlands, a hell-like dimension where criminals are tried and executed by the Banhammer himself. A self-proclaimed tyrant, Banhammer is quite literally a demigod, and he knows it. Banhammer is clad in a thick steel cuirass lined with spikes and wields a gigantic hammer that is even larger than he is. As the warden of the Banlands, he has captured and even executed hundreds of prisoners in his time. His track record has led him to often boast about his immense skill. He is so confident in his abilities that he wears a blindfold during fights. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean fights. Just so that he can challenge himself. But most importantly of all, he is a mama's boy, always doing whatever he can to make his mother, Windforce, proud of him. He can use his hammer in a variety of different ways, summon astral cages, and even straight up ban people on the spot. Most deadly of all, he seems to possess the power of flight, as he apparently has a set of wings that the player simply cannot see. Perhaps they are the reason why his mobility move is such a gigantic leap, or perhaps his jump force is just that strong. Regardless, Banhammer is incredibly strong, and if he were to remove his blindfold and make this a really serious fight, there would be surely no stopping him. With an asterisk. Despite being a demigod, he has been defeated on multiple occasions by those seemingly weaker than he is, particularly by a skilled bounty huntress named Scythe, even with his blindfold off. He has also attempted to behead the broker on one occasion, but failed to execute him. I don't even know how this happens, as the broker's gear doesn't even grant him any powers other than spying on people, and he's not exactly the most powerful creature in the fighting universe. Regardless of that, though, Banhammer's track record has proven that he is much better than he is at his worst, making him one of the most feared fighters in the entire Inferno. So now that we've met both of our contestants, let's now compare their skills in 5 different categories: strength, speed, experience, skill/feats, and finally, trump cards. Let's first begin with strength. While Sledge Queen is definitely stronger than the average human, her equipment is all relatively lightweight by her own admission, which, while this helps with her speed feats, it's not particularly impressive with strength, even if she is able to do things like punch people's head off their shoulders. Banhammer, on the other hand, is like 7 feet of pure muscle. His natural physical strength, combined with whatever demigod genes he has flowing through him, makes Banhammer decidedly stronger than his opponent. When it comes to speed, however, the pendulum swings in the opposite direction. Banhammer may be surprisingly quick for his size, but his fastest speeds are nothing special at all. Sledge Queen is not only extremely fast and agile, but also has lightning-fast reaction time, given that she could reposition herself in the air, parry bullets, and accurately track someone from miles away. Her augmentations and enhancements make her much, much faster than Banhammer. Experience is something quite hard to calculate with these two. Neither are really all that old, and both have different roles in their games. Alia grew up in very harsh conditions and braved her way through scavengers, agents, and demon zombies to get to the position where she is today. Meanwhile, Banhammer grew up under the watchful eye of his goddess mother before being given the role as Warden of the Badlands. Despite the nepotism, he is an extremely strong and successful warden. However, in the lore, it's unclear how much of this actual skill and experience is credited to him, and how much is just due to his natural demigod physique and heritage. Considering he failed to kill the broker and has lost a scythe on occasion, I'm willing to bet that the latter is true. Since his status and track record are mostly spotless, however, I'm going to call this category a tie for both parties, saying that they're both equally experienced. Next, we have skills and feats. Banhammer, as a warden, has captured hundreds of demons in his time, whether they be petty criminals or murderers like the broker, showing that he is more than able to deal with dangerous people. His raw strength and skill is so much, he intentionally nerfs himself with a blindfold in order to make things fun for himself. The issue with Banhammer's accomplishments, however, is that they've been practically handed to him thanks to his lineage. And because he's almost always interacting with those who are clearly weaker than him, he tends to, not really always work at his full potential, which is a bad thing. When Banhammer is actually challenged, like with his rivalry with Scythe, he tends to lose a lot, as shown in his trailer and in this piece of artwork. Sledge Queen, on the other hand, constantly is pushing her limits when it comes to her skills. Whether it's surviving attacks from the recon, killing agents, and defeating demon cultists, she's just got a lot more feats to talk about, despite being a mere mortal. Sledge Queen's skills and techniques are also a lot more sophisticated. Banhammer may have unique knowledge of every fighter, and his skills may net him a win in the tournaments, but Alia would likely be intimately familiar with similar techniques. Reminder, she grew up as a massive fan of the Survival of the Fittest game shows, learning from her idol, Ryzen, who could provide her an edge with some capacity. However, it wouldn't necessarily be much of anything. Overall, we have more displays of impressive skill from Sledge Queen and evidence to show that Banhammer has been coddled for the majority of his career, so skills, I would say, goes to Sledge Queen. And finally, we have trump cards. Banhammer's ace in the hole would be his ability to ban people, consigning them to the Badlands, where they'd effectively be on his territory and at his mercy. The issue is, landing such a blow would be quite challenging on a foe as agile as Sledge Queen. Her ace in the hole is her mastery over the knuckle boom, as well as her superhuman reaction time and speed. Banhammer is a big lumbering guy. Meanwhile, Sledge Queen is quicker, can basically fly, can fight from both close and far ranges. Oh, are you seeing it? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? This is just Scythe. Yeah, as it turns out, a lot of Sledge Queen's attacks and tactics are just kind of Scythe on steroids. I think it's important to note that in the fighting universe, despite everyone being demons and stuff, they don't possess any extraordinary abilities outside their gears. Outside the gears that they are given, and they're just mortals, as far as I've seen everything I've read and stuff like that. Banhammer may be a demigod by the virtue of his birth and his raw strength, but that doesn't change the fact that he can still die. He is not. Sorry, I had to. Banhammer does stand much more of a chance if he locks in and removes his blindfold, but we can see even then, it is not a surefire victory, as even without it, he has been overpowered by Scythe before. And Sledge Queen is visibly faster than Scythe, nay, faster than any fighter that Banhammer has ever faced. Unless she gets careless and falls victim to his ban wave, there's just a lot more ways Sledge Queen's speed, reaction time, and deadly skill set can overpower Banhammer. He's just not used to fighting someone like her before, and would struggle a lot even with his wings. So overall, I'd have to say that the winner of the fight between the two would be Sledge Queen. Banhammer is certainly a deadly opponent that Alia would have to keep her distance from, but that doesn't change the fact that she is still more than able to take this demigod down from a distance, and then jump away before he can even react. It's only a matter of time before she wears down his armor and obliterates him for good. But what do you think of the outcome? Are you surprised? Do you agree? Do you not? Leave your opinions and theories in the comments below, and also be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.